been traveling a lot lately, and you might think that that would afford me various opportunities to get some photographs that I wouldn't ordinarily have the opportunity to get, but you would be wrong in that assumption. Not wrong in the assumption. The assumption holds. The issue is it's just not happening. I'm not doing it. But I'm not traveling for fun. I'm not traveling for work. I'm traveling for life stuff, and it's the sort of life stuff that basically sucks the energy out of you, leaving very little mental, emotional bandwidth to do anything that I would like to do. For example, photography. And I can't really think of a second example that basically covers everything I like to do. And then you get trapped in that cycle where the last thing that you wanted to stop and photograph but didn't is better than this current thing you're photographing. So why bother if you've already missed out on the better thing?
I just wanted to warn you, rattlesnakes. They're down in the pits.
Gotcha.
I hate seeing anybody get bit.
I'm in Texas. I'm heading from New Mexico to Arkansas for the second time in like 2-3 weeks. I don't know it yet, but my mom is in the hospital, which I will find out when I get there.
Words are an insufficient descriptor of how fucking hot it is out here today. Holy shit.
What are we doing here? Infrared? Yeah, think so. I've really been debating selling my infrared camera, my full spectrum camera. I mean, it's great fun, but practical? Less so. I've been getting back to regular client work. And, so far there's not a great deal of demand for infrared business headshots. I've yet to receive that phone call about someone's infrared high school yearbook photo that they need right away. I'm sure it's just around the corner. In the meantime, though, maybe it would be a little more practical to carry around a camera that I could actually fucking use when I'm doing my job. But fun fact, I grew up around here. Maybe that was merely a fact, if I'm being honest. Shooting through some bars. I'm really working hard to make nothing into something here. Not that the bridge isn't cool, it is cool, but is it a photograph? Guess that remains to be seen. Well, it's alright. I should probably retouch that little glob of tree at the bottom. Let it be a little more clean. I think I've finally learned to delineate the pursuit of great art from just having fun with a camera when I have an hour to kill, which is what I'm doing now. So I'm not seeking anything. I have no assignment other than just capturing what is actually there, good or bad. Maybe this is super obvious, and for every other person on planet Earth, they didn't have to learn this over years, but I'm exceptionally dopey, apparently. But also exceptionally jealous of this person down here living their life while I'm up here pointing a polycarbonate box at them. Suddenly I begin to realize I may be failing at this whole life thing. I didn't just suddenly begin to realize. I've actually been suspicious for quite some time. But are the things that I love dumb? Or a waste of time? Am I missing out? I mean, I don't think it's unhealthy to ask yourself these questions. You just hope the answer is no. However, sometimes the answer is not no. A concept more commonly described as yes. But that too is ultimately a good thing. Temporarily painful, sure. Transitions are hard. Hard but worth it if you're moving away from delusion and further into reality. Maybe photography just feels like my thing because it used to be my thing. Is it still my thing? That's a question worth asking. Those biases we have that want to keep you from examining cherished beliefs, anything associated with your identity, keep you from re-examining conclusions that you had previously made. They will really fuck you. They will hold you back. They will keep you from seeing what's what. They will drag you down into the land of delusion. Don't let them. Don't seek to confirm what you already believe to be the case. That is just an incredibly dishonest way of approaching anything. I want to know if photography isn't bringing me joy like I expect it to, or like it did in the past. I want to know, and I want to know as quickly as possible. I want to get on to the next thing. I want to start living my life. Right, Miyako? I know, Miyako. It's really true, right? Why am I applying rationality to the pursuit of art? I mean, I'm not applying it to the art itself. I'm applying it to whether or not I want to continue doing this type of art. I will remain a photographer. I mean, even though I had sort of shut down in terms of doing it as a career, I'm now booting right back up again. So, photography is part of my life. Do I want to spend my non-work hours doing it as well? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I'm just saying it's worth examining. I find myself longing to live life out from behind a camera, though. But then the other side of that is I wonder, would I even be here right now if I didn't have the camera as a reason to bring me out here? I'm in nature. It's hot as fuck. I would certainly stay in the air-conditioned house, or car in this case. So see, it's not that simple. Self-examination. I like this shot because there's nowhere in Albuquerque that looks anything remotely like that, although we have trees and we have green things. So although I don't have an amazing subject before me, I did find some kind of a flavor that is different than what I have available at home. So, yay me, I suppose. Now I'm getting ready to head over to the hospital to see my mom. I didn't feel comfortable bringing a camera, so I just have my phone. She has dementia, and there are good days and bad days, and there are good moments and bad moments. This is a nice, sweet little moment. And the lady who inspired me to become a photographer in the first place.
Which, as you can see, is a very, very bumpy. Should be landing shortly. Welcome to Albuquerque. Cabin security.
Life stuff. Fucking life stuff. It's the worst kind of stuff. The worst. Practically erases your desire to do anything. Plus you end up feeling guilty about it because it's not even you going through something. You're just a spectator in shit theater. Hey, speaking of photography, which nobody was, I like this shot. Cool abstract shot in water, a little bit of a long exposure thing happening there. This is one of our gorgeous New Mexico beaches. Visit New Mexico, and you'll see some shit like this, although rarely, because water is in fairly short supply. But the other, like the shitty dirt and stuff, you'll see lots of that. But I do like this shot. Negative Nancy though I may be. Really need to work on that, because I feel like I'm going down a dark path here. Cool shot also. I mean, the first one was the best, and they've descended in quality from there. But that was fun. I like shooting that kind of stuff. Now a little trippy trip to Santa Fe. I've got one camera body with me, my infrared camera body, but I have 3 filters. And the IR chrome filter, that's the one I was using earlier, where just the leaves are red. A 720 nanometer filter, that's what I used here. And then a hot mirror, which is just to take normal shots. Visible light shots that are not infrared. This is a really pretty area in Santa Fe that the wife and I discovered. For all the complaining I do about New Mexico, when I'm here in this spot, I don't feel so cut off from nature. That's a 720 nanometer shot, which I've struggled to deal with how to process those images. I think I'm finally getting a little better at it. Dealing with what they call false color, but in a way that's not super obnoxious. And it all starts basically with what you're shooting, unsurprisingly. You can't just point it at anything in any conditions and expect it to come out cool. Although I may have been guilty of that early on. But that's just because I was ignorant of the process and had no experience. But that's not a bad place to be. That's an awesome place to be. That's the place where you get to learn and experiment and do nothing but increase in ability. So maybe I won't sell this camera. It's bringing me joy on a joyless day. And I do have the hot mirror, which is supposed to turn it back into a normal camera, although a compromised version of a normal camera. There are some limitations that you have to work around, but there are always limitations and things to be worked around. For example, we can no longer afford to live in our home. All the money we can make goes to Brazil because my wife's mom had a stroke and is paralyzed and needs round-the-clock caregiving. So we're moving into a shit apartment. And on this day where we have finally admitted that to ourselves, that this situation is unsustainable, I get to just say fuck it and go out in the woods in Santa Fe and take some infrared shots and some non-infrared shots. And do I want to give that up? Fuck no. Fuck no, I don't. I don't want to give that up. It's important to me, and that's the answer to my question. Yes, I'm going to continue doing this. Of course I am. What the fuck was I thinking? I'm sure living in an apartment, I'm going to need to get out. Look at something other than walls, all the more intensely and all the more often. Maybe I'll end up being more productive as a result. That'd be cool. My biggest struggle with this kind of photography is, like, take this tree in the middle, for example. It really stood out in my eye and in my brain. How do I recreate that in a camera? Tricky. Because it's just one tree, one detail in a sea of many. Subject communication and or separation is difficult. Anytime you see a black and white photo pop up when I've been out shooting color, you know that I fucked something up. It just came out looking like a sea of red mush. Somehow it was elevated simply by flipping it to black and white. I'm gonna give myself a pass here because I like this shot somewhat, but generally speaking, I hate shooting nature that way, where the thing closest to camera is in focus, everything else is very out of focus, like this, for example. It just smacks of a portrait photographer kind of clueless and or unwilling to try something different. And I don't want that to describe me, although it very well may. But I'm trying. I have surgery coming up in less than 2 weeks. Fuck my life. I will tell you something bizarre, though. I think I've come around full circle. The wife and I both. And there's some measure of excitement about ripping ourselves out of complacency and moving into the apartment. Seeing it as just step one of getting to wherever it is that we want to go. And whatever does not fit within the life that we want, we're going to discard at the airlock. That's the metaphor we've been using. We're kind of science nerds.